Hey, I love you, my beautiful. I love you, my beautiful Nara. I love you, my beautiful Adela. Okay. Oops, I knocked the bench. This is the cap that mother made. I don't know what this is. Randy McNally Publishers. This isn't a little golden book or anything. Okay, we'll see. Here we go. The cat that mother made. Okay, message to parents and teachers. There's a little thing down there. I forgot it was. It's in Roman numerals. I can't work out. There's something 7, 8. Once upon a time there was a little boy called Anders who had a new cap, and a prettier cap you had never could see. Mother herself had knit it. As mother could, it was red and green and yellow with a blue tassel on top. Oh yeah, there it is too, look at that. Anders pulled the cap down over his eyes and showed it to his brothers and sisters. They thought he looked very handsome. Then he put his hands in his pockets and said, "I'm going for a walk so everyone can see my new cap." Wow. The first person he met was a farmer walking beside his horse pulling a wagon of hay. He gasped and gazed at Anders' cap and could not keep from fingering the blue tassel. "Let's swap caps," he said, "and I'll even give you my jackknife." What do we call them? Pocket knives. Now his knife was splendid. And Anders knew that he's almost a man, and as soon as he has a jackknife, but still it did not come up to the new cap that mother made. "Oh no, I could not do that," he said, and with a nod the farmer went on. Soon after this, Anders met an old lady who curtsied until her skirts looked like a balloon. She said that he was so fine that he might go to the king's ball. "Well, yes, why not?" thought Anders, "seeing that I am so fine, I may as well go and visit the king." There we go. Go visit the king. And so he did. In the palace yard stood 2 soldiers with shining helmets and swords. "Where are you going?" they asked. "I am going to the king's ball," answered Anders. No, no," said one soldier, putting his foot forward. "Nobody's allowed there without a uniform." But just as this instant the princess came tripping across the yard. She was dressed in a green silk with bows of gold ribbon. She heard Anders and the soldiers and walked over to them. "Oh," she said, he has a very fine cap on his head, and that will do as well as a uniform." She took Anders' hand and walked with him up the broad marble stairs and through the magnificent halls where grand ladies and gentlemen bowed before him, for, as like as not, they must have thought him a prince when they saw his fine cap. At the end of the largest hall, a long table was set with golden cups and plates. There were tarts and cakes on the huge silver platters. The princess sat down under a flowered canopy. She let Anders sit in a golden chair by her side. "But you must not eat with your cap on your head," she said, and she was going to take it off. "Oh yes, I can eat just as well," said Anders, and held on to his cap. If she could take it away, he was not certain that he could get it back again. "Give it to me," said the princess, "and I will give you a kiss." The princess was certainly beautiful, but he could not part with the cap that mother had made. He only shook his head. The princess filled his pockets with cakes and put him on her own jewelled necklace. around his neck and bent down and kissed him. Oh, but he only moved further back in his chair and did not take his hands from his cap. Then the king entered, followed by the many gentlemen in glittering uniforms and plumed hats. The king himself wore an ermine and purple robe and a large gold crown on his white hair. He smiled when he saw Anders in the gilt chair. "That is a very fine cap you have," he said. "So it is," said Anders, "and it is made of my mother's best yarn, and she has knit it herself, and everyone wants to get away from me. And everybody wants to get it away from me. But surely you would like to change caps with me," said the king, raising the large crown from his head. Anders did not answer. He sat as before and held onto his cap. But when the king came nearer, Anders grew frightened as never before, for the king came to do as he likes. Anders leapt from his chair. He darted like an arrow through all the halls, down the stairs, across the yard, and he ran as fast as the princess's necklace fell from his neck and all the cakes popped out of his pocket. But he had his cap. He still held on to it with both hands as he ran into his cottage. Mother took him up in her lap and told him all his adventures and how everyone wanted his cap. All his brothers and sisters stood around and listened with their mouths open. When his big brother heard what he had refused to give his cap for the king's golden crown, he said that Anders was stupid. Just think what splendid things one might get in exchange for a crown, and Anders could have had a still finer cap. Anders' face grew red. He had not thought of that. He cuddled up to his mother and asked, "Mother, was I stupid?" But his mother hugged him close. "No, my little son," she said. "If you were dressed in silk and gold from top to toe, you could not look any nicer than in your little red cap." And Anders felt brave again. He knew well enough that the cap that Mother made was the best cap in the whole world. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was pretty snazzy, wasn't it?